Díomh Garda is Spanatí Daily Galere. Well, hello there, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me here tonight. So, we are still very much in the midst of these incredibly intense new moon energies, which I think have knocked everyone for six, basically. So, I thought it would be a good time to seek some words of encouragement, some words of wisdom from Spirit through this beautiful Threads of Fate Oracle deck. This is the Shadow edition of the Threads of Fate Oracle, and these are the most beautiful cards that I have ever seen. They are just so... look at these. The texture, the velvety texture, that's so tactile, and the imagery is just stunning. And these have the most beautiful, healing, loving, golden energy. I just love these cards so much. So, I have drawn 4 cards, as you can see. And this, I thought, would be a suitable spread for current times in general. The spread called to define the situation, the current situation in which we are going through in these times. And these 4 cards represent card number 1, outside influences, what is happening with others and behind the scenes. Card number 2 is representing your role in the situation. How are you playing your part in it? The 3rd card represents what you need to do, what actions or steps you need to take. And the 4th card representing end results, the final possible outcome of the situation. Okay, so the first card up in our Define the Situation spread is the Outside Influences card. What is happening with others, and what is happening behind the scenes? And that brings us this beautiful card. Isn't that just stunning? This is the Power card. You are more powerful than you could imagine. This card serves as a reminder that within you lies an infinite well of power that you can source whenever you choose. Throughout our lives, we may have given out power to others or had it stripped away, but we always have the ability to call it back. Now, this card comes with an exercise, and this asks us to sit or lay quietly for a moment and focus on your breath. Begin to bring awareness to your solar plexus. This is your power center. Imagine you are sitting inside it. How does it feel? Do you feel lots of energy? Or does it feel stagnant? Imagine there is a glowing seed in the pit of your stomach, as it is your power. Now, imagine holding it and watching it grow. Feel what messages it has for you. What does it need from you? Continue to come back to mature your power. Now, each of these cards also has an associated animal, plant, and crystalline ally. And the bear associated with this beautiful card of power is the bear. The bear teaches us that understanding and working with our personal cycles amplifies our personal power. While it is widely accepted that bears hibernate, this is actually not the case. They go into a deep sleep called torpor, which means that they are still able to awake if startled. They go into torpor to survive the winter when food is not readily available, and do so by eating more in the fall to store up body fat. As humans, we may not sleep for months, but we all have our personal cycles. It is important we know what to expect from ourselves. You may not feel very productive during a new moon, or even an entire season, and that is okay. But there will be other times when you have way more energy and space within you. Knowing these things about yourself is powerful, as it helps you prepare and maximize your potential. Now, the plant kingdom ally associated with this power card is California poppy. Poppy is a guide for us when we feel disconnected from our personal power during trying times. It teaches us how to ground into our true feelings and experiences, despite how painful they may be. And in the strengthening of our container, it amplifies our personal power. Poppies are synthetic, which means that they close at night and open to the sun. This serves as a reminder for us to store light where we can, but to also have boundaries in place that prevent our power from leaking. Call upon Poppy as a teacher from creating a container for your personal power and transmuting painful experiences into strengths. And the crystalline ally associated with this card is citrine. Citrine is all about getting things done. It strengthens our determination, will, and ability to bring our ambitions into physical form. Its fiery energy cleans our power center of any feelings of unworthiness and encourages us to take action. Call upon citrine when you need help clearing any blockages around abundance, success, taking action, and personal power. Okay, so that was our outside influences card, power. Now, the second card in this Define the Situation spread is representing your role in this situation. How are you playing your part in it? And that brings us this beautiful, beautiful card. Trust. This card indicates a time where letting go of your human thinking and having faith will serve you. People can confuse surrender and trust, lumping them into the same idea. However, these are different things and require different parts of us. Surrendering often feels darker and like you're submerged, unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Its lesson is a teaching in rebirth. Rebirth can only happen when you surrender to winter without experiencing spring to come around. It is a lesson in adapting. Trust is a more intuitive process. There is an element of vision, of knowing what is possible, of seeing the potential and trusting that you will get there when you do not know how you will. It is trusting that the universe will provide the resources and illuminating the path if you show up for it. Reflect around your history with trust. Do you have evidence of how trusting can bring about magical solutions? If not, at what point in the process do you give up? Now, the animal associated with this trust card is the moth. Like butterflies, moths begin as caterpillars, and through the process of chrysalis become their final state. As you can guess, they carry the spirit of transformation, but they also carry a lot of lunar energy as well. One of the best guesses that science has on why moths are attracted to light is because they use something called transverse orientation to navigate, which means they stay at a fixed angle from the moon to orient themselves. We have come to trust and not question the moon cycles, the same way the caterpillar doesn't question the cocoon. Call on moth as a teacher of trust. Now the plant associated with this card is Trillium. Trillium calls our attention to trust as a necessary foundation to any relationship. Trillium is such a fragile plant that picking a flower irreparably damages the plant, and if it does not heal, it could take years to recover. It's also a plant that takes a very long time to go from rooting to flowering. On average, it takes 7 to 10 years. This is similar to trust within our relationships. We should take our time with who we choose to trust. We also need to remember that when we break someone's trust, or they break ours, it could damage the relationship beyond repair. We must honour ourselves and others who we choose to be in relationship with. And the crystal associated with this trust card is celestine. Sometimes we can get so dragged down that we feel completely alone, or that the world is against us. Celestine asks us to remember that we are connected to all life. It helps open up our psychic and intuitive senses so that we can connect more easily to our guides and the universe. When we spend time meeting with Spirit, the more we are able to trust that there are things at play that we cannot see. Spend time with Celestine to tap into your clear senses and communicate more efficiently with the divine. So that represented your role in the current situation. Trust is the key. Now the third card in this spread represents what you need to do, what actions or steps you need to take. And that brings us take risk. Definitely. Another beautiful, beautiful card from this most amazing deck. So what is it that you need to do at this time? Take risk, my friends. Risks are personal to each one of us. To some, climbing a mountain doesn't feel scary. To others, having a conversation with a stranger does. What has been calling you that you have been afraid to do? Comfort kills growth. It is important that we regularly do things that push the envelope, that make us feel nervous, apprehensive, and uneasy, with the exception, of course, of physical danger. This card is asking you to take the plunge and do the thing that intimidates you. Trust that the net will appear after you jump. The animal associated with this take risk card is the mountain goat. The mountain goat can jump 12 feet between ledges, scale steep mountainsides of over 60-degree slopes, pull themselves up intricate inclines with one hoof, and can climb over 1,500 feet in 20 minutes. They teach us that all challenges are relative and that risk often seems greater in our heads. We may even impress ourselves with how easy something is once we take the leap. Call upon Mountain Goat when you need help tapping into your bravery as you embrace risk. The plant associated with this card is the stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is a plant with an abundance of medicine. It is one of the most nourishing and healing plants there is. The majority of people, whether plant folk or not, are aware of nettle due to the fact that it stings when you touch it. It has tiny yellow hairs on the leaves, and when you touch it, the little hairs inject a fluid to irritate their attacker. But if you are willing to take the risk of harvesting this amazing plant, you have access to its amazing medicine. Stinging nettle guides us out of the fog and into a life that we find invigorating. It teaches us that once we get past the initial discomfort, the risk can be incredibly nourishing. And the crystal associated with the take risk card is fire agate. Fire agate helps us restore our lust for life. Approximately 24 million years ago, volcanic activity in the now southwest United States led to hot water saturated with volcanic minerals filling the cracks underground. If you've become worn down and stuck in routine, fire agate finds the cracks and brings new life to them. Call on fire agate to literally fire yourself up and stimulate your body as you take on any challenges. Very appropriate what you need to do, take risks. And our fourth card, representing the end result, the potential final outcome of the situation. And that brings us another stunningly beautiful card. Manifest. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't that just stunning? So, the end result in our define the situation spread, we have manifest. This card signals a period of time when your manifestation work would be extra potent. What you have been working towards is on its way to you. If you feel anxious or obsessive, it is time to release it and let the universe work some magic. When you're working on manifesting, it is important that we do the following. We must be clear on what we want, not what we don't want. We imagine and visualize ourselves experiencing it. This means tapping into the feeling that we would have if we already have it. After we have focused on it long enough, we must release it so it can be manifested. This card asks you to examine your process. Are you lacking clarity in your desires? Are you sending the universe mixed signals by focusing on what you didn't want or what you lack? Are you too focused? Reflect on how you show up for your manifesting practice and make any adjustments that need to be made. Now, the animal associated with this manifest card is the Wisent. The Wisent, also known as the European bison, is considered a keystone species, which means its entire ecosystem depends on it for stability. Everything the bison does, from walking to eating to dying, has a profound impact on its environment. Whenever bison are found, the land, animals, and humans have depended on it as an imperative part of life. When it comes to abundance and manifesting, the Wisent teaches us about the interconnectedness between all things, as all things are of use. Even the things that may go unnoticed have tremendous power. For example, the Wisent is critical in pioneering plants taking root simply by the way it rolls in the dirt and sand. If we were to witness the bison rolling in the ground, we most likely wouldn't think of it as helping plants proliferate. It is the same with much of our work. Tiny things can add up to big results. The plant associated with this particular card is Mullein. Mullein rises out of its large velvety leaves, often reaching up to 6 feet tall. If you look at it from a few feet away, it can look like a rocket just after launching. Throughout history, Mullein has been used as a torch. Energetically, it can support us in the same way. It lights a path for us in manifesting work. It finds the gateways and the openings that we need. And the crystal associated with this manifest card is pyrite. Pyrite's nickname is Fool's Gold, but those who work with gemstones understand there is nothing foolish about it. While it may not be as valuable as gold, it can certainly support you in manifesting some. When we have our sights set on something, it is important that we take action. We cannot simply hope that the universe provides it for us. We must show up and do the work. Pyrite removes blockages and cultivates a go-getter attitude, allowing us to feel worthy of what we are manifesting. Well, there we go, folks. That is to define the situation spread from the Threads of Fate Shadow Edition Oracle deck. I hope this has brought some words of hope, some words of peace, some divine blessings to you all. I love you all. See you all again soon. Slán agus beannacht.